Yay! Hello, everyone. How are you? We are here for Savvy Entrepreneur Spotlight, and we have the fabulous Jaime Morocco. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, of course. We're so excited to have you. Awesome. So today, everyone, we have Jamie here. She's from Soul Powered Fitness, and she is going to talk to us about her journey as an entrepreneur, some of her successes, some of her challenges, and just, her why she started with being an entrepreneur in the first place. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Hi, Jamilah. Um, and also, she's going to let us know, part of her mission is helping entrepreneurs stay fit and staying well. And that's not the easiest thing to do, especially balance it all. So, yeah, we have a little spring background. So that'll stick with us for a little bit because a lot of people are out and about. I did an Insta story. I did a Facebook Live on my personal page. Hi, Navari. Welcome. And it's so beautiful outside that, some people just aren't on screen today. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah, everyone knows the action is in the replay. Awesome. So, Jamie, tell us all a little bit about yourself.
And sorry, guys, I just want to apologize if it looks like I'm looking around. We're having a technology issue, so I can only see a white screen right now. So if I look like I'm looking at a lot of different places, I'm trying to figure out where the best place is to look. But a little bit about me, and thank you so much, Michelle, and the Savvy Entrepreneur community for having me to have me join today. A little bit about me. I'm a former Silicon Valley techie, so I worked in Silicon Valley for 4 years. And if you guys have seen the HBO show, it is exactly like that. So it is like, it is the same way it's portrayed on HBO. And I worked there for 4 years, but I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I actually got my undergraduate and graduate degree in entrepreneurship. So I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur one day. And working in the Silicon Valley, working in the tech startup scene, it's a very tumultuous industry. There are layoffs all the time. Things happen. And I went through several layoffs in the tech industry. And I decided to start my own business in health and nutrition because that's where my passion has always been. And I was a personal trainer when I graduated from college. So yeah, that's and I've been doing this for almost 3 years in terms of my online business. So.
Wow, I couldn't even imagine. So, what were you doing in Silicon Valley?
I was working in digital marketing and community building. So I built online customer communities. I did digital marketing. I did like customer advocacy programs and things like that.
Awesome. Okay, so what was probably I'll let you choose, right? Either your scariest, most exciting experience being in Silicon Valley, because we're all curious. We want to know. We watch the show.
I think that like the most fun thing about working in that space, my first job there, I was the first marketing person. So I was really able to like have a lot of influence on where we took our marketing strategy and where, and I was able to actually like see the results of my work. So, I worked for a software company and we sold software to other software companies. So it's like not the sexiest thing. My job was to build an active community of our of thought leaders and other people in the industry. So I built it from like 0 to like close to 1,000 people in less than 6 months. So that was something that I was that was my first real corporate kind of job. As I mentioned, like before I went back to business school, I was a personal trainer. So I hadn't really worked a lot in the corporate or, more traditional office world. So to do that, I felt really, it was just like a really cool experience to be able to have that kind of influence. I think like obviously like the scariest or most difficult times is when, you get that conversation that the company's not doing as well as you thought and that they're laying people off and that you're one of those people. But that happened to me twice. And in both instances, like I looked at it as such a blessing because, I just was kind of like, I'm a little woo. So I took that as like the universe telling me that it's not my thing. So, those are one other thing that you guys will appreciate. Our apartment building was next to the Uber and Twitter offices. And the CEO of Uber had a apartment on our floor. So I used to see him there. That was kind of like his, like, if he needed to go relax type of a thing. But I would see him all the time. And they'd be like, oh my God, there's like the CEO of Uber.
Yes. I mean, it's like its own little Hollywood, being in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So, I mean, a lot of people go from full-time to, doing this entrepreneurship thing. Tell us some of your successes in making that transition or since you made the transition.
Yeah, I think that my biggest success is always, this is going to sound cheesy, but it's true. I mean, like, when I'm able to help my clients reach their, goals, whether their goal is to lose weight or to, embrace intuitive eating or to put on muscle, or more recently, I'm going back to school for holistic nutrition certification. So I've been working with a lot of clients on hormone balancing and blood sugar issues. So to be able to see those results for people and to like just be their guide on that journey, that's like the biggest reward, hands down. I think like on a more practical level, I'm sure your peeps and the savvy entrepreneur peeps want to hear, like, as an entrepreneur, like what are the ups and the downs. I think some positive experiences for me, I did a lot of outreach in terms of like pitching myself for podcasts and guest articles, and to see those types of things come through are super cool. And I didn't even realize, but I was just like looking myself up on Google a couple weeks ago, and I had like won an award for like one of the top trainers, and I didn't even know about that.
Wow, congratulations.
And I don't like mean to say it in a way to like, like fluff my own feathers, but I think that, like, you put stuff out there and like you just never know like where, who's gonna see it or who's gonna, put stuff out there, and that was kind of cool.
Absolutely. Who's gonna appreciate it, right?
Exactly.
And it's so funny because I posted something yesterday in the group and I said, I ran into one of our savvy entrepreneurs randomly in the bathroom, right? Just to put it all out there. And she says, I'm not active in the group, but I read everything. I read all the emails. I watch all the videos, and I use all the resources, and my business is growing. And I posted that in the group, and Brandon, one of our members, says, let her know, be active in the group, because as entrepreneurs, we don't know if you see the value the way that we see the value. So you winning an award like that is huge, because then it lets you know, it's like that validation, right? It's like, okay, there's a purpose. People are really getting it.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And I mean, where you put your energy and where you focus is going to grow. So, it might seem tedious, like, to do the things that we have to do, like, keep up with your Instagram and Facebook and content, but eventually, like, all of these things will pay off. So
absolutely. So what is the hardest out of all of that, right? Like you said, being an entrepreneur, there's marketing, there's finance, there's management, there's systems, and then there's your clients, right? Mm-hmm. So with all of that, how do you find balance in the everyday life of?
I wish I had a systematic way. I'm a very much a self-proclaimed type B person. So my business coach will tell you I'm type A, but I'm not. I don't have lists and organized ways that I go about doing things. I mean, I do. I have my own organized chaos, but I have my content. The content usually comes to me like the same day or the day before. I write it and schedule it. I mean, I really gravitate towards working on what I feel like needs to get done for that day. I hope this will speak to some of your savvy entrepreneurs.
It's honest, it's authentic. I love it. I love it.
But that's true. I wish I could sit here and tell you that I had, color coordinated Trello boards and a Google Calendar that was all like coordinated, but it's not. I work on what I feel like needs to get done and what needs to get done for my clients or to take my business to the next place or follow-ups or things like that. I'm very communicative with people, so I respond to emails quite quickly, especially with clients. So I always put email as a priority. But yeah, that's kind of how I balance. I just gravitate towards what needs to get done.
Awesome. And so Jamilah quoted you and you said, where you put your energy and where you focus is going to grow. And, that is still focus, like what you just said, sometimes it's just about handling what's in front of you. You kind of have an idea of what you have going on and how to juggle it is just to get things done.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Just check things off the list and getting them done. And, knowing that, you do want to have like some bigger goal that you're working towards. So, you're not just doing things one off, but, if it's your content strategy and you have to write a bunch of Facebook posts, at least you know that it's contributing to like your overall goal of having more content on Facebook and putting yourself out there.
Awesome. And guys, please do drop questions below. Let us know any questions that you have for Jaime, either about business, entrepreneurship, or fitness. And she'll get a little bit more into some tips for us as entrepreneurs soon. Next question would be, tell us a little bit about your biggest, if you haven't already touched on it, but you can say your biggest challenge as being an entrepreneur, either one specific incident or just overall.
Yeah, this is such a great question. I think first of all, patience. So I think that's the number one thing that all entrepreneurs just need to have. Even though we want it yesterday, we have to wait. We have to wait at least a few days.
Yes, at least, right?
Yes, learning patience. And I think in my industry specifically, when it comes to health, wellness, fitness, everybody has an opinion and no one is necessarily more right than the other person because everybody is so bio-individual that what works for me might not work for you. And, sometimes in the beginning, I was really nervous about, am I going to offend somebody? Is this person going to take this the wrong way? And, I think that what's really important is just to step into your truth. And, I was listening to this podcast the other day and they said something along the lines of it's important to be polarizing when you're growing a business because you attract what you want and you repel what you don't. And if you're just sitting there trying to please everybody, you're not going to get anywhere in business. You need to be who you are, say your truth, say it firmly, and then haters gonna hate. And then that's okay, they're not for you. And just stepping into your truth and your power and doing what feels right for you. And then, realize that you're not going to please everybody and that's not your job. So
absolutely. I love that. Haters gonna hate.
Yes, there's always going to be them. And it's so funny because I've had a couple and they always come right before my business is about to get to that next level. Right before I'm about to sign a bunch of clients or I have a really cool breakthrough. It's right there. It's almost testing me.
Moment, right? Yeah. That is such. It's that scary moment. It's oh, you're already on edge. They don't know it, but it's like you said, the universe is telling you oh, let's throw this obstacle at her and see, and for me, one of the things they say, it's so for me, my universe is my Christian faith, right? And one of the things that we say is that God's not going to give you more if you don't prove that you can handle what you already have. Totally. And, and that's one of my things now. It's you have to handle right before that breakthrough. Don't panic. You have to prove that you can handle what you have now before you break through to that next level.
That's exactly it. I mean, I got chills when you said that because it felt so true to me. I really do believe that. So it's
awesome. Yeah.
If you're feeling anxious or getting some, maybe not so positive
Exactly.
feedback. So keep going.
Going push through. Also, the other thing that you said was Jamilah says, she quoted you stepping into your own truth, which is what you said. And what I wrote down was authentic. You keep saying that. Just be authentic, be who you are, because in order for you to find out who your true customer is, you have to be authentic. Who would you say is your true customer? And how did you identify who that was? What was that process like?
Um, it's really interesting because I know like in the entrepreneurial world we should have like our avatar and like who she is, and who she is
Yeah.
exactly, like know everything. And I know like the type of mindset and like the type of person that I work best with. And there have been times where I've like referred people out to other trainers because I don't think that we are the best fit for each other.
Right.
But I think that like it's so hard to like narrow down. I mean, I could tell you like my ideal avatar is between the ages of like 28 and 60. And, she's looking to like lose 20 or 30 pounds. And like she's tried Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers before and she hasn't figured it out. But I think like, I think that oftentimes we almost go too narrow and we miss out on people that could really teach us a lot. So I'm always like hesitant to say like who my ideal is, because I've taken on people with other challenges that I really felt like that I could help them with, and I've had amazing results with them. So I think that keeping an open mind about who your avatar is pretty important. Again, not trying to be everything to everyone, but if you feel a connection and you feel that you can help them, I think.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Like one of the things we talk about in Savvy, and you may have heard before, is you don't necessarily need to niche down so far, so narrow on your customer. It might be better to niche down on your offering or your service, because that could work for you as well. I completely agree.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would say so. Now I want to dive a little bit into fitness, your passion, your joy, your love. And, part of that calling is helping entrepreneurs when it comes to, balancing it all and staying fit and staying well. So I'll just kind of let you take it away on this one.
Yeah, and just as you were saying that, I had one other last thought that I wanted to add on to like niching down. If you are authentic in your messaging and you are very specific in your messaging, you will actually niche down by your messaging and your offers. So
Exactly.
like your messaging almost like does the work for you, because somebody that doesn't agree with your messaging isn't going to want to work with you anyways. So it's like you're attracting all of those people that will. So
absolutely.
So in terms of, sorry, your question was around balancing fitness and entrepreneurship. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but just like as far as like the dialogue too, I love this going back and forth. I say the same thing about email list, right? If you have someone like we all dread, and it hurts a little bit, when someone unsubscribes from our list. But I'm a firm believer that even though it hurts a little bit, it's for the best, because it's just kind of like a space that someone else could use. It's a unopened email that's taking your open rates down.
Exactly.
It's probably not interested in your stuff, right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. It's again, attract and repel. So
absolutely. So I want to know, give us some tips. So I personally, I have like 2 girls under 3, and I put on a lot of weight, and I'm juggling new mommy and babies and kids, and husband and business. And there's a lot of people in our group that are the same. We have a lot of moms. We have a lot of single people who are just like Navarre. He's watching, and he, in one of our workshops, his main question was, how do I balance having a social life? Hi, Brian. Hi. How do you balance having a social life while building a business? Because we know it can easily take over.
Balance a social life while having a business. I wish I knew.
She's like, is that reality? Does that exist?
In terms of a social life, I mean, me and my boyfriend are both entrepreneurs, and we are each other's best friends. And, we see our friends when we can. Most of them are still out in California. We live in Boston now. But I think it's really important. We do we do take one day off per week to do things that we want to do together. Last night I went to an event with one of my friends. I think it just is important to like schedule time outside of work. And I'm like a big, I like to spend time on myself. So I will, I make sure I keep up with my weekly manicures. Like that's my me time. That's part of my social life.
Yes.
At a point to like do whatever those things are that make you feel like you're taking care of you, whether it's being social, whether it's spending time with your loved ones, whether it's taking time for yourself. So scheduling the time is really important.
And so we have Brian watching. I'm not sure if he's still watching, but he's actually he's a doctorate of pharmacy, but he's in that health wellness space. He has a company called One Wellness Place. And so, that's about supplements and nutrition and all of that stuff. So you have like-minded company watching. And then Navari, if you could let us know, drop in the comments if you're still on, let us know too some of the things that that you're having trouble juggling. And if, fitness is a part of that same thing, Jamilah, and let's see if we can talk about some of that stuff with Jamie while we have her here.
One tip I will give you, if you're somebody who is building a business and you're really stressed out about whether your goal is just to eat healthier or to lose weight, I think it's really important to set time aside. And maybe it means meal prepping on a Sunday and just making a lot of I like to batch prepare things. I'll batch cook a bunch of chicken and I'll chop up a bunch of vegetables and I'll prepackaged nuts, just things that are really easy for me to throw together. I think by taking time at the beginning of the week, that's really helpful, just setting time aside, either on a Sunday, or if you don't want to take time on a Sunday, maybe you take an hour every night and just do it for the day before, the next day.
Awesome.
That can be really helpful. Nutrition's really everything when it comes to not only our health and our well-being, but our weight loss and fitness goals too. Mm-hmm. So if you are finding, if you're an entrepreneur, and I know a lot of my entrepreneur friends are oh my God, I gained the entrepreneur 20. The first priority.
I love that.
The first priority is nutrition, making sure that you're watching your portions, that you're eating a lot of, I call them nutrient dense foods. So lean proteins and veggies and fruits and, healthy sources of fat like avocado and olive oil, really prioritizing those foods. That's your first place to start as an entrepreneur.
Perfect. We have some great questions coming in too. So Jamilah says, Jamie, what would you recommend for a quick morning routine for a busy entrepreneur mom?
In terms of a workout, or I'm guessing she might mean a workout. So if you were a quick morning routine, I would probably, if you don't have any dumbbells or anything like that at home, I would do some body weight exercises. And I can, put these in the comments after, but body weight squats, lunges, push-ups, and you can modify any of these. You could do push-ups on your knees or on the wall. I would start with, just start with maybe 3, 4, 5 exercises a day, maybe 3 to 5 times a week. And you don't need to even spend that long. You could do 15 minutes, 10 minutes if you wanted to. And I think that would be a good place to start. So any body weight types of exercises that get your whole body moving.
Awesome. Let's see. So Navari says, I sit down a lot on the computer, being that I'm a graphic designer, and a great one he is. And I have scoliosis. Me too. What are some exercises I can do to strengthen my back?
That's really good. So that's a great question. A lot of people think that if they have back issues, it means that the back is weak. In reality, and I know that scoliosis is more structural, but actually, if you have, I'm going to talk about back pain just because, and back issues just in general, because I feel like scoliosis is something you'll definitely want to, talk to your doctor, chiro about, because again, it's a structural thing. But in reality, if you have like chronic back pain, back issues, it's due to the back being too strong and tight and the abdominal muscles being too weak. So basically, like the back takes over for all of the work that the abdominal muscles are supposed to be helping with. So I have a couple ways that you can help fix that. I would work on core work like planks, anything that has you kind of stabilizing your core. So planks are a really, really good way to do that. And I would also spend some time doing stretches of the back. So something like child's pose. You could do like the cat-cow stretch. Again, I can post these in the comments because it's probably a lot to remember.
Oh, no, these are great.
But the most common one that I want to tell Navari about is, especially since you sit down all day, you likely have very tight, they're called hip flexors, and they're a muscle. They're actually a group of muscles, but one of the hip flexor muscles attaches on the low back, and it goes to the front of the hip. And often that can just pull on the low back and cause a lot of just imbalances and also back pain. So I recommend looking up some hip flexor stretches and doing those, especially because you sit all day. So it's super important.
Awesome. Perfect. So this is just for anyone who's just joining. People are in and out. If you are here and you are an entrepreneur, right now we're talking about balancing fitness and wellness with business, just drop like a 1 or an emoji or something in the comments so that way we know that we're on the right track with this conversation.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then for Jamilah, she says, workout, quick breakfast. I guess this is back to her balance question in the morning, for busy entrepreneurs. What's something that we can do? If you have, let's say an hour, let's say 30 minutes realistically in the morning before everyone wakes up to do something, what would your recommendation be?
Probably like, I don't know, like 50 body weight squats. Like maybe you break them up into, like 5 sets of 10.
Perfect.
Like 50 push-ups and what else? If I had 10, you said like 10, 15 minutes. Body weight squats, push-ups, and I would probably stretch my hip flexors. I actually stretch my hip flexors every day, multiple times a day. Those 3 things, if I had to be like in and out. And then for breakfast, things that you can make the night before. So muffins can be great because you can actually like make them super healthy and put in a lot of really good ingredients. So I make muffins for my family. I use coconut flour, flaxseed. I can put the recipe below. It's just got a lot of like really whole ingredients in there that make great on-the-go breakfast. Chia seed pudding is another one that's one of my favorite breakfasts. So you take chia seeds, they're these little tiny seeds, and take 2 tablespoons and mix it with some water or unsweetened almond milk and put it in the fridge overnight. And then it'll make like a pudding in the morning, and you can stir in like some protein powder or some nuts. So that's a really good, like really quick breakfast too.
Awesome. Kyra says, muffin recipe, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and Kyra's another one. She's a mom and she's juggling motherhood and business. So you have a lot of us here that are, that can really resonate with this conversation, and more people are joining us. So this is great, great, great stuff, Jamie. So tell us, where can we find stuff like this from you? Where can we find some of these recipes or some of your resources that you have available for us?
Yeah, if you go to my website and you click on, it's jamiemorocco.com, and I'll post the website in the comments, and you click on free resources. I have 2 free guides. One of them is about troubleshooting weight loss, so what to do if you're trying to lose weight and nothing's happening. And then the other one is called The Guide to Eating for Optimal Fat Loss. And it's a great, it's called The Guide to Eating for Optimal Fat Loss because, as you know, like, I'm trying to reach my target peeps, and a lot of them want to lose weight. But this guide,
especially right now, the sun's coming out.
But this guide is actually great for anybody. It doesn't matter if you want to improve your energy, if you just want to start eating better. It's got great food lists in there and ideas for different meals. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight or not. It can totally adapt to what your goals are. So I would definitely start with those 2 resources.
Awesome. Perfect. So Jamie's information, you see it across the screen. That's her website. So definitely check that out. Do you have any programs or anything that you think are really important for us to look at into right now?
I do work with clients one-to-one. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs one-to-one because they find that, like, you know, we only have so much like mental space, especially as an entrepreneur. So working with somebody like a coach like me helps keeps people accountable. It allows somebody else to worry about your food and your workouts and things like that. So
Nice.
All my clients really have to do is execute, which I know isn't that easy because you know, it's sometimes hard to pick broccoli over cupcakes, but you know, you also want. I'm a big believer too in balance, so I never tell people to give things up completely unless they have a specific issue that they're trying to heal. But yeah, I think that I work with people one-to-one. I love working with people one-to-one. And yeah, if you have specific goals that you want to work towards or need accountability, I'm your girl. So feel free to reach out. I do free consultations. They're on my website on the contact page. And, you know, I'd love to chat with you.
Awesome. So let's dive a little bit back more into your life of being an entrepreneur. So tell us, like, what's a day in the life of Jaime Morocco?
Well, me and my boyfriend, as I mentioned, we lived in San Francisco. We moved to Boston, which is where I'm from originally, in with my parents. So that's very fun. It's actually great. They're wonderful people. So in the morning, I wake up. Our little puppy usually sleeps with us, not my parents. He's my parents' puppy, but I get him up. I take him out. Me, my dad, and my boyfriend. We drop my boyfriend off at the train station. I drop my dad off at work. I go to the gym. I get into my office about an hour later. I go through all my client emails. And I'm also, let's get real, I'm answering emails at the gym too. I'm not going to tell you that I'm not.
That's balance. That's real. That's the reality of balance, right?
Yeah. I usually go for a walk at some point throughout the day, eat lunch, and then at night, it's just a mix between Real Housewives and work, or Vanderpump Rules and work. I'm a big reality TV.
Me too.
Oh my God. Okay, so you get it.
Yes, it's so funny. You said something earlier. I can't remember right now, but you said something that I was going to reference Nene, and I was like, maybe that's not appropriate.
Oh my God, I love her.
Oh, when you said Uber, I was going to say, did you hear about the whole thing with Uber and Nene and the Uber joke?
No.
Oh, it was like some big deal, I guess, while she was on tour, and so she got kicked off of a tour. It was pretty big.
Oh my gosh, now I need to find this one too.
I know. That's so cool. Yeah, it's like and so I feel bad too because it's my guilty pleasure, right? It's like we have to go into this place sometimes where your mind is just numb and it's so far from your reality that it's just enjoyable.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun TV, and you got to let your mind, just relax and chill out.
Exactly. So guys, in the comments, let us know, what are some ways that you guys just go into that mind-numbing place and relax? Is it, manicure, pedicure? Is it a massage? Is it reality TV? Let us know some of the things that you do. And also keep the questions coming. If you have anything else for Jaime, let us know. So that sounds like a really exciting day in the life of one. I definitely appreciate you being so transparent with us. Hi, Sandrina. Thanks for joining us. Sandrina's another mom entrepreneur. Another question that did pop up for me is that you said that when you go to the office, do you work out of your home or do you work off-site at an office space, or a combination of the both?
I have an office space. It's actually right next to my dad's office, so I see him a lot. Yeah, it's in our downtown. I live in a small town outside of Boston. And yeah, I have a small office space. I lived away from home for 4 years, so I think my dad likes having me close.
Oh, I love it. It means so much, right?
Yeah, it does. I'm an only child too, so I think it's hard to be away.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to be away.
See, Kyra says Kevin Hart YouTube.
Oh, yes.
Awesome. And Jamilah says, I love the idea of batch cooking. I can definitely do that. Awesome. Let's see. And so what other questions I have? So you said something about, you said you have a business coach.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that and how that's changed your life as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. When I first started my business, that was in 2015, and I did the basics. Like, I had a website, and I did like the whole like register, for an LLC thing. And I got my logo and all of that stuff. But I really, and I had clients, but they were coming very passively. I was still working my day job in tech, so I wasn't really like putting gas. I wasn't putting pedal to the metal and going full force my business, nor did I really understand how. A couple months before I went through my second layoff, I found this woman who was specifically a coach for fitness professionals and health professionals. And I just really clicked with her, and she's very good at like the practical, like, this is how you build your funnel. This is how you do Facebook ads. Like, she was just as a boss, like at this, especially for fit pros. And her and I got very close, and we worked together for about a year. And I still keep in touch with her. And I think that she's literally like one of the best people. And then I went off and I worked with another like coach who was more focused on content. And it just wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right fit for me. I just didn't feel, I think that's an important thing to know is like there are so many coaches out there. You need to find somebody who really fits with you. And I think the first coach I had like served the purpose of like getting everything up and going and like really teaching me like hustle and how to do it and like
nice
stuff. The second coach, not so much a fit, but the coach I'm currently working with, she came to me at such a perfect time because I felt like I had that solid foundation of like understanding like funnels and how to get clients and marketing and positioning. And she really helped me on like the mindset work and focusing on what's important and like leaving behind what's not important. So she's the coach that I'm working with right now. I would always I personally probably will always use a business coach. I think it's just so helpful to have somebody else in your business with you, like on your team. And I think that's with everything in life. I mean, here's the thing that I'll share. If I have fitness goals I'm working towards, I even use like one of my friends to help me
nice.
with my fitness goals, because having a coach, having somebody else to be accountable to is so important no matter what your goals are.
Totally agree. Totally agree. That was great information. And as a recap, you said, you just have to find a coach that's a great fit for you, depending on where you are in your journey at that point in time. But you do recommend working with coaches or even accountability buddies or you need that. I know I personally do. So we need that type of accountability.
Yeah, and I mean the structure, because especially in the online space, there are so many things that you could focus on. And one thing that I learned in my MBA program, I went to Babson, which is pretty well known for their entrepreneurship program. And the one thing, one of my professors always said was, "Don't focus on dumb shit." And it's so excuse my
love it, professor. Okay.
You have to focus on stuff that's actually moving you forward. And we get so caught up in the stuff that's well, should my logo be this shade of purple or that shade of purple? And really what's going to move you forward is just picking something, and then you can always change it later. So I think that a coach can really help you in that way, because they help you see no, you don't need to focus on the little things, just make a decision. Yes. You can always change it. So
exactly. And I even talked to clients, digital marketing clients, about the same thing. It's sometimes don't get caught up. It's not set in stone. It's better to just make a decision. It's so hard, especially when you're working with someone on their brand or their marketing. It's because it's their baby and you expect them to be super attached to it. But in order for us to start making money, which is the objective, we have to keep pushing forward, right?
You can always change and evolve, and it's okay. And I don't know how, I'd love to hear your opinion on this, but I really enjoy writing and producing content, but my grammar isn't the best. And sometimes I'll catch spelling mistakes, and I try to do my best. But the way I see it, it's 2018. People really care about the message that's out there. I think, it's okay if it's not perfect. Obviously, you do the best you can. You fix what you can. But, like, I'd rather get it done most of the time and just keep up the momentum. So.
Absolutely. And I second that. I think that people, they'd rather get the information. Jamilah knows we both have Grammarly, because if it weren't for spell check and Grammarly, it'd be a mess around here, So I agree. And I am the queen of, I will post something on Facebook and go back and read it later, and I'll have to edit it because it sounds crazy. It was like 2:00 in the morning after a glass of wine, and I need to fix that, So I agree. It's about getting the stuff out there. And yes, and Sandrina says, absolutely keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
And Sandrina, she's actually one of my accountability buddies. We keep each other accountable in business and motherhood and life, and just keep pushing forward.
That's awesome. That's so important. Having business like besties, I call it, is important.
Yay. Awesome. And so we have in Kyra, this was actually on my little note to you, Kyra. I agree. So podcasts, you mentioned podcasts. Are you podcasting, or are you thinking about it, or even being featured on other podcasts? Take us down, give some juice on that one.
Yeah, I've been interviewed for several podcasts, and I'm probably not going to do my own anytime soon. I just have a lot on my plate, and I think that I articulate myself better in writing. But I really do enjoy being on podcasts. So I just recorded one last week. It's called the Women Inspired Podcast, and I really just, when you just click with someone and you just feel that it went really well. Like, I just had that feeling. So I'm pretty excited about that one. That one will come out next week. It's called the Women Inspired Podcast, and it was just a cool interview on my entrepreneurial journey, and how I built my business and where I'm at now.
So. Yay, please do share that with us when it comes out. Share it with us in the group. Hopefully you feel that way about us once you leave here.
Oh my God, of course. Great. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. And how do you get your features? I'm sure that's what some people want to know. How do you get features on some of these podcasts?
Oh, yeah, I have a great tip. There's a website, I think it's called listen.fm, and you can search podcasts on based on like their category. And you can see if they're active. And then I usually will research the person, listen to a few of their episodes, and see if like I might be able to, be a good contributor to their show. And I'll write them an email, and I'll tell them, what I'm thinking. I'll pitch an idea and see, if it makes sense or feels right to them. And then we go from there. I think I've done like 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4.
Awesome. And you're great on video. We are so excited to have you. This has been probably one of our best turnouts so far, and everyone's engaged and having a good time.
Anyone have any more? Like, I can't see myself. I don't know if my makeup's everywhere. I don't know.
No, you look amazing. And honestly, it's the value. Everyone, you're giving great stuff. Everyone's really, really engaged. So that's super exciting. And then people will be able to watch it on the replay too.
And if you guys have questions, feel free to let me know. Ping me.
Awesome. And she's in our group, guys. She's one of our savvy entrepreneurs. So at Jamie anytime. So if this podcast question comes back up or anything else, just hit her up in a group. And so we still have some people on. So if you guys any questions, any more questions, any thoughts for Jamie? If not, I think I have, let's see. So the podcast, we talked a little bit about that. Listen FM. So we're going to go check that out. And then I would say, unless any other questions come in, Jamie, tell us if you had 1 or 2 or 3, but if you had one tip that as an entrepreneur you would like to leave with your savvy entrepreneurs, what would that be?
I think that, a couple things. I think like I'm a really big fan of, and I told you I'm a little woo. I'm a really big fan of making big declarations to the universe about what you want. Because I really believe that if you decide that you want to have 100 clients, or you want to, make X amount of money by the end of the year. I really believe that like when we commit and we make those big declarations and then we take action based on that, whether it's you hire a coach, you invest in someone to help you with Facebook ads, you quit your day job so that you can focus on your business. Like I think that by setting those goals, not even goals, because I want a stronger word, like those declarations, and then taking action that shows that you're serious about it. I think that that's like, one of the biggest, most important, Grammarly, I need that right now. Things that people can do, because what happens is we start to get into our own head and be like, wait, do I really want this? Or like, is this the right thing? Or this is scary. What if I quit my job? How will I support myself? I think we get too paralyzed by fear. You just got to dive in. People are like, oh, but the business coach is like so expensive. How can I afford? You just got to do it. You'll figure it out. Like it's going to be
absolutely.
So
it's going to be okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Do you take
courses can be great if you don't want to do the work to like figure out, the next step for everything, or you could just go to Google and, figure it out.
Absolutely.
Or you can hire somebody to do it for you. I mean, that's girls, right?
Yes, I agree. So there's a couple categories there, guys, and I think I agree. One is do it, go the DIY route, hop on Google, look it up, figure it out. I mean, ask questions, of course. We're here in the group if you have questions about stuff. Hire someone to do it. I believe in that wholeheartedly. It's either do it yourself, hire someone to do it, or there is that in between if you want to hop on a course. I know some of my favorites have been like Amy. I didn't do the big ones, right? It was like List Builders Lab. I did that. I agree. I have a graveyard folder of e-courses that I've taken.
I did sign up for Neil Patel's Advanced Marketing, which I still have. I think is like the mecca of online marketing courses.
Nice.
It's like a 60-week course. Like I just go to whatever I need, in that time.
It's like a university. That's awesome. Awesome. Any other questions, guys? I think we are good. We've taken up almost all of your beautiful sunny day. What's the weather in Boston? Is it beautiful and sunny today?
I think it's sunny, but it's cold. It's supposed to be
around the corner. I know. It's around the corner. Like for us, we're in the DC area, and it was ha because the first day of spring it snowed.
Same
exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Be sure to share the link in the group. Yes, Jamie, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. And thank you guys for joining. It was really nice. Really fun. I really appreciate it.
Yay. And so we will see you in the group. And guys, again, go to jamiemorocco.com for resources and reach out to her in the group. Reach out to her however you can find her. She's on LinkedIn at Jaime Morocco. Her website is jamiemorocco.com. She has a Facebook page, Jaime Morocco Soul Powered Wellness. So check her out, guys. See you soon. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. This is so exciting. See you on the replay.